Hello and welcome to the hidden world of Japanese culture. Welcome to the hidden world of Japanese culture. This time we will be discussing the history, charm, and enjoyment of Japanese hot springs under the theme of easy to understand. Japanese onsen culture for foreigners. What's different about Japanese hot springs? What are the differences among Japanese hot springs? I don't know which onsen to recommend. Do you have this problem? If you make the mistake of using an onsen in the wrong way, you may inconvenience others, or even break the rules. And with more than 3,000 onsen in Japan, it can be difficult to know where to go. But don't worry. This month's topic is making Japanese onsen culture easy to understand for foreigners. Basic knowledge about onsen. Onsen etiquette for foreigners. Top 5 best hot springs in Japan that you should visit at least once. We will explain these topics in an easy to understand way, even for beginners. If you've never been to an onsen before, this video is for you. Even if you have never been to a hot spring before, you will be able to enjoy 100% of Japan's hot springs by watching this video. If you have never been to a hot spring before, this video will help you enjoy Japanese hot springs 100%. Let's take a look at the depth of Japan's onsen culture together. Japanese hot spring culture definitions and basics. From now on, we will explain the topic of Japanese spa culture. In this article, we will go into detail on the following 2 points: definitions of hot springs and their meaning in Japan, the history and cultural background of hot springs in Japan. Let's take a closer look at each of these points. Definitions of hot springs and their meaning in Japan. What is the definition of a hot spring in Japan? First, we will explain the definition of a hot spring in Japan. Hot springs are not just any bath, they are clearly defined by Japanese law. In Japan, only those hot springs that meet certain conditions are recognized as onsen under the hot spring law. The hot spring law, enacted in 1948, defines an onsen as one that meets either of the following 2 conditions. Temperature condition: the temperature of the water, when it gushes out of the ground, must be 25 or higher. Component condition: the water that emerges from the ground must contain a certain amount or more of certain mineral components. These components include a variety of substances, such as sulfur, iron, carbon dioxide, and chloride. For example, Noborabetsu Onsen in Hokkaido is famous for having more than 10 types of spring water, including sulfur springs and iron springs. In addition, Kusatsu Onsen, Gunma Prefecture, is known for its highly acidic spring water, which is said to have a very strong sterilizing effect. Japanese hot springs are not just warm water, but only those that meet the standards set by law can call themselves hot springs. In other words, Japanese hot springs have scientifically proven benefits and are more than just a place to relax. History and cultural background of Japanese hot springs. When did Japan's hot spring culture begin? Japan has a history of hot springs that goes back more than 2,000 years. Hot springs have long been used as places for healing, socializing, and spirituality. Japan's hot spring culture was established as early as the Nara period, 8th century, and hot springs are not just bathing facilities, but are rooted in history and culture. As early as the Asuka period, 6th century, people were using hot springs, and in the Nara period, hot spring therapy called toji began to be practiced. In the Kamakura period, samurai warriors increasingly used hot springs to heal their battle wounds. In the Edo period, hot spring travel became popular among the general public, and hot spring resorts developed as tourist destinations. One of the oldest hot springs in Japan is said to be Dogo Onsen, Ehime Prefecture. Dogo Onsen has a history of over 3,000 years, and it is said to have been used by the imperial family and aristocrats since ancient times. Arima Onsen, Hyogo Prefecture, is also a hot spring, with a history mentioned in the Nihon Shoki, the oldest chronicle in Japan. The culture of hot springs in Japan has developed over a long history that has continued since ancient times. Onsen have not only been used for washing the body, but have also played an important role as a place for medical treatment, spa cures to maintain health, and as a place for social gatherings. So far, we have explained the definition of onsen and the historical background of onsen culture in Japan. Only onsen that meet the requirements based on the hot spring law are recognized. Onsen culture in Japan has a history of over 2,000 years and has developed as a place for hot spring cures and social gatherings. In this way, Japanese hot springs are not just baths, but a valuable asset unique to Japan, combining scientific benefits with deep history and culture. Characteristics of Japanese hot springs. In this article, we will explain in detail the characteristics of Japanese hot springs we will mainly explain 2 points: the abundance of hot spring resorts and hot spring sources, and the variety of spring quality and effects. Japan is rich in hot spring resorts and hot spring sources. The reason why Japan is one of the world's leading hot spring countries. There are more than 3,000 hot spring resorts in Japan, and there are also more than 27,000 hot spring sources. This number is one of the highest in the world, and is one of the main reasons why the hot spring culture has developed. Why are there so many hot springs in Japan? It's because the Japanese archipelago lies in a volcanic zone. There are 111 active volcanoes in Japan, which accounts for about 7% of the world's active volcanoes. Due to this volcanic activity, the water deep underground is heated, and hot springs erupt in various places. Japan is also a country that experiences a lot of earthquakes. Sometimes no hot springs are created when the movement of the Earth's tectonic plates causes earthquakes. In fact, there are some cases where new hot springs were discovered after the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami. For example, Bedpool Onsen in Onita Prefecture is a hot spring resort that boasts the highest number of hot springs in Japan, with about 2,300 springs. In addition, the amount of water gushing out is extremely high, with about 87,000 liters of hot spring water gushing out per minute. In addition, Kusatsu Onsen Hot Spring in Gunma Prefecture gushes out about 30,300 liters of hot spring water every day. You can enjoy 100% natural hot spring water without adding any water. The large number of hot spring resorts in Japan is due to geography and the fact that no hot springs are constantly being created due to volcanic and seismic activity. As a result, you can enjoy different hot springs in each region you visit. The quality of hot springs in Japan varies, and each has a different effect. The difference in spring quality determines the appeal of hot springs. What makes Japanese hot springs special is the variety of spring quality. There are more than 10 classifications of spring quality, and each has a different effect. The quality of a hot spring is determined by the type of rock and layers underneath. For example, areas with high sulfur content will produce sulfur springs, and areas with high iron content will produce iron springs. So you can enjoy hot springs with different ingredients in each area. Let's introduce some of the typical spring qualities. Sulfur spring Isen. Typical example: Noboribetsu Onsen, Hokkaido. Characteristics: the water is cloudy white and has a strong smell of sulfur. Benefits: promotes blood circulation, improves skin, has a sterilizing effect, good for acne and skin diseases. Carbonate spring. Representative example: Nagayu Onsen, Oita Prefecture. Characteristics: the water contains dissolved carbon dioxide gas, so it has a fine, bubbly texture when it touches the skin. Benefits: improves blood circulation, relieves fatigue, prevents heart disease. Chloride spring and Kabotsunsen. Representative example: Atami Onsen, Shizuoka Prefecture. Characteristics: because it contains a lot of salt, it forms a film of salt on the skin, making it difficult to get cold in the bath. Benefits: high moisturizing effect, improves sensitivity to cold, high heat retention effect. Iron spring Tessen. Representative example: Arima Onsen, Hyogo Prefecture. Characteristics: brown or red hot water with an iron smell. Benefits: improves anemia, promotes blood circulation. Acidic spring. Representative example: Kusatsu Onsen, Gunma Prefecture. Characteristics: a hot spring with a strong acidity of pH 2 or less. Benefits: has a very high sterilizing effect, and is good for improving skin diseases and atopic dermatitis. Simple spring. Representative example: Hakone Onsen, Kanagawa Prefecture. Characteristics: a simple hot spring with no special taste, so it is easy for everyone to enjoy. Benefits: relaxing effect, fatigue recovery, neuralgia relief. Since the quality of hot spring water varies from region to region in Japan, knowing the characteristics of each hot spring will help you choose the one that suits you best. In this article, we have explained the characteristics of Japanese hot springs from 2 perspectives: the abundance of hot spring resorts and sources, and the diversity of spring quality and effects. Japan is a world-class hot spring nation, with over 3,000 hot spring resorts and over 27,000 hot springs. Because the Japanese archipelago is located in a volcanic zone, hot springs gush out all over the country, and new hot springs are constantly being born. There are more than 10 types of hot spring water, and each has a different effect, so you can choose a hot spring that suits your needs. Proper use of hot springs and etiquette. In this article, we will explain the proper way to use hot springs and how to behave. Japanese hot springs have their own rules, and if you go in without knowing them, You may cause trouble for others or feel embarrassed. Especially foreign tourists may have the problem of not understanding hot spring etiquette. However, Japanese hot springs are a culture that everyone can enjoy, as long as they follow the rules. In this article, we will explain basic rules and bathing steps, towel use and unacceptable behavior, tattoo issues and hot springs that are easy for foreigners to use. Will be explained in 3 separate points. Even if it's your first time at a hot spring, you can relax. Basic rules and the bathing process. What is the proper way to enter a hot spring? There are certain steps to follow to relax in a Japanese hot spring. By following these steps, you can enjoy the hot spring in a more comfortable way. When entering a hot spring, it is considered good manners to follow the following bathing procedure. 1. Take off all your clothes in the dressing room. To most hot springs do not allow bathing in swimsuits. 3. Rinse with hot water, or take a shower, before getting into the bath. Be sure to rinse yourself with hot water to cleanse your body. 5. Soak slowly in the tub. 6. Warm your body thoroughly. 7. Wash yourself. Use shampoo and soap. 8. It is customary to wash yourself in the middle of the bath, not before. 9. Relax in the bath again. 10. To get the most out of the hot spring, it is recommended to stay in the tub for 5 to 15 minutes. 11. Rinse yourself before getting out depending on the case. 12. In hot springs with strong ingredients, such as sulfur springs and chloride springs, you may not need to rinse before getting out. By following this flow, you can enjoy Japanese hot spring culture in comfort. The importance of rinsing and proper bathing technique. What is rinsing off? Rinsing is the act of pouring hot spring water over your body before entering the bathtub. This is not just a matter of etiquette, but an important step with medical significance. It removes dirt from the body and helps maintain hygiene in the bath. It prevents sudden changes in temperature and reduces stress on the body, especially in winter. There is a risk of heat shock when jumping into a hot spring. For the elderly, the risk of heart attack due to heat shock is increased, so it is important to gradually acclimatize the body to the temperature of the hot spring by pouring water over yourself. For example, in Kusatsu Onsen, Gunma Prefecture, there are hot spring facilities that have a special area for pouring water over oneself. This is a traditional bathing method used to enhance the effects of the highly acidic spring water at Kusatsu Onsen. How to use a towel and what not to do. Rules for using a towel at a hot spring. There are also rules about how to use a towel at a hot spring in Japan. In particular, it is often forbidden to put a towel in the bathtub. Basic rules for using a towel. Do not put a towel in the bath for hygiene. It is okay to put a towel on your head. It has a relaxing effect. Please take home your used towels. It is also important to remember not to talk loudly or swim in the hot spring. The hot spring is a place for relaxation, so please take care not to disturb other users and enjoy your bath in peace. For example, in some high-end ryokan Japanese-style Onsen Noborubetsu, Onsen Hokkaido, there are special instructions on how to use the towels. This is a measure taken to deal with the increasing number of foreign tourists and the resulting increase in etiquette violations. Tattoo issues and hot springs easily accessible to foreigners. Are tattoos prohibited in Japanese hot springs? In Japan, it is often the case that people with tattoos are not allowed to use hot springs. This is because tattoos are traditionally seen as a symbol of antisocial forces yakuza. How to find a hot spring where tattoos are allowed. However, with the recent increase in the number of foreign tourists, the number of hot springs where tattoos are allowed is also increasing. For example, in some cases, it is possible to bathe by covering your tattoo in the following ways. Use tattoo cover stickers. Use a private bath, private hot spring. Researching hot springs that allow tattoos in advance. In Bed Pool Onsen, Oita Prefecture, there are several hot spring facilities that allow tattoos. In Hakone Onsen, Kanagawa Prefecture, there are also an increasing number of facilities where you can bathe if you cover your tattoo with a sticker. If you have a tattoo, it is a good idea to research which hot springs allow tattoos before visiting. In this article, we have explained the proper way to enter a hot spring and the etiquette involved. It is important to pour hot water over yourself before bathing to acclimate your body to the temperature of the hot spring water. It is good manners to keep the bath clean by not taking your towel into the bath. If you have a tattoo, we recommend that you look for a private bath or a hot spring that allows tattoos. Knowing these rules will help you enjoy your first hot spring experience. 5 famous hot springs in Japan. In this article, we will introduce 5 hot spring resorts that are particularly famous As famous hot springs among the hot springs in Japan, there are over 3,000 hot spring resorts in Japan, but we have carefully selected those that are particularly highly rated in terms of history, effectiveness, and sightseeing. The hot springs we will introduce this time are Kusatsu Onsen Gunma Prefecture, Japan's largest natural hot spring, highly acidic hot spring, Hakone Onsen Kanagawa Prefecture, easy access from the city center. The view of Mt. Fuji is also attractive. Bedpool Onsen Oita Prefecture, the largest amount of hot spring water in Japan. The department store of hot springs. Arima Onsen Hyogo Prefecture, one of the 3 oldest hot springs in Japan, with 2 types of spring water: Gold Spring and Silver Spring. Dogo Onsen Ehime Prefecture, the oldest hot spring in Japan, with a history of over 3,000 years. Let's take a closer look at each one. Kusatsu Onsen Gunma Prefecture, a hot spring resort with an overwhelming amount of hot water and highly acidic spring water. Kusatsu Onsen is one of the most famous hot spring resorts in Japan. It boasts the highest natural flow rate in Japan, with approximately 32,300 liters of hot spring water gushing out every minute. Characteristics of Kusatsu Onsen: highly acidic spring water, highly acidic with a pH of 2.1, which has a strong sterilizing effect. Direct from the source, pure hot spring water with no added water or heating at most facilities. Famous, Yubatake, the scenery of the gushing hot spring is a tourist attraction. The symbol of Kusatsu Onsen, Yubatake, is a spectacular sight, where the hot spring water cascades down and steam rises up. There are also many public bathhouses where you can enjoy the hot spring for free, which is also a great attraction. Hakone Onsen Kanagawa Prefecture, a famous hot spring resort where you can enjoy sightseeing and hot spring bathing, with excellent access from Tokyo. Hakone Onsen is a popular hot spring resort for foreign tourists, located only 90 minutes by train from Tokyo. Features of Hakone Onsen: a hot spring village with more than 20 hot spring resorts, many open-air baths with views of Mount Fuji, historic hot spring inns, and modern hot spring resorts coexist. At Owakudani Onsen, you can enjoy sulfur springs unique to volcanic regions. In addition, Hakone Yumoto Onsen has long been a popular hot spring resort, and is lined with long-established ryokan Japanese-style inns. Hakone is the perfect area for those who want to enjoy both hot springs and sightseeing. Bedpool Onsen Oita Prefecture, the department store of hot springs, with the largest amount of hot spring water in Japan. Bedpool Onsen in Oita Prefecture is a hot spring resort, where you can enjoy a wide variety of hot springs, earning it the nickname Department Store of Hot Springs. The amount of hot spring water that gushes out is approximately 87,000 liters per minute, the largest in Japan. Features of Bedpool Onsen: 8 different hot spring areas. Bepu Hachito Hell Tour sightseeing is a specialty. There are many unique hot springs, such as sand baths, mud baths, and steam baths. Uni Jigoku is a bright blue hot spring, and Chinoik Jigoku is characterized by its red mud bath. You can also try a sand bath at Takekawara Onsen. If you like hot springs, this is a place you should visit at least once. Arima Onsen Hyogo Prefecture, one of the oldest hot springs in Japan, with 2 types of hot spring water, golden and silver. Arima Onsen is one of the 3 oldest hot springs in Japan, and is known as one of the oldest hot springs in Japan. Features of Arima Onsen: golden spring, brown hot spring, containing iron and silver spring, carbonated spring, a historic hot spring area that was popular with Toyotomi Hideyoshi Shogun, easy to reach, only 30 minutes by train from Kobe City. Arima Onsen is also a hot spring resort for adults, with many high-quality ryokan Japanese-style inns. Dogo Onsen Ehime Prefecture, Japan's oldest hot spring, with a history of over 3,000 years. Dogo Onsen is said to be Japan's oldest hot spring and is a traditional hot spring resort with a history of over 3,000 years. Features of Dogo Onsen: the Dogo Onsen Honkin Building, designated as a national important cultural property, a historical hot spring that even appears in myths. The retro atmosphere of the hot spring resort is charming. The Dogo Onsen Honkin Building is said to have been the model for the Ghibli film Spirited Away. Another attraction of the hot spring resort is that you can enjoy walking around in a yukata. This time, we will introduce 5 of Japan's famous hot springs. Kusatsu Onsen Gunma Prefecture, Japan's #1 natural high-acid hot spring. Hakone Onsen Kanagawa Prefecture, easy access from the city center, with a view of Mount Fuji. Bedpool Onsen Onita Prefecture, Japan's #1 hot spring, with the largest flow rate. The hot spring department store. Arima Onsen Hyogo Prefecture, one of the 3 oldest hot springs in Japan, with 2 types of spring water, Gold Spring and Silver Spring. Dogo Onsen Ehime Prefecture, Japan's oldest hot spring with a history of over 3,000 years. There are many more attractive hot springs in Japan, but we recommend that you visit these 5 first. Next, we will explain how to choose a hot spring without making a mistake. There are more than 3,000 hot spring resorts in Japan, each with its own characteristics. Many people may be wondering, I don't know which hot spring to choose. So, in this article, we will look at Onsen Ryokan versus Onsen Day Trip, which is recommended, the differences between open-air baths, private baths, and mixed-sex baths, and how to choose. Hidden hot springs versus famous hot springs in tourist areas, which should you choose? We will show you how to choose the best onsen from these 3 perspectives. Hot spring ryokan versus day trip to a hot spring, which is better? The first thing to consider is whether you want to stay overnight, or just visit for the day. Both have their own appeal, so choose the one that suits your travel style. The main advantage of a hot spring ryokan is that you can relax in comfort. At many ryokans, you can relax in a spacious Japanese-style room, and be served a sumptuous Japanese meal, especially if the ryokan has a hot spring with water pipes directly from the source. You can enjoy a truly exquisite hot spring experience. On the other hand, the best thing about day trip hot springs is that you can enjoy them casually. They are perfect for people who want to take a hot spring bath on the way to their destination. The reasonable prices are also attractive, with many facilities costing around 500 yen to 2,000 yen. For people who want to enjoy a hot spring at all costs, we recommend a plan with 1 night and 2 meals at a high-class ryokan in Hakone or Kusatsu. On the other hand, for people who want to enjoy a hot spring quickly in a short time, is a hot spring that you can enter for only 500 yen, such as the public bathhouse. The differences between open-air, private, and mixed baths, and how to choose. Next, let's think about what kind of hot spring you want to go to. There are 3 main types of hot springs in Japan: open-air baths, private baths, and mixed baths. First, open-air baths. These are hot springs that are located outdoors, and you can enjoy the scenery of any season while bathing. For those who want to soak in a hot spring while enjoying a spectacular view, we recommend an open-air bath surrounded by mountains, such as Hakkotsu Onsen in Nagano Prefecture. Next, private baths. Private baths are perfect for couples and families who want to enjoy some private time together. They are especially ideal for those who are embarrassed to use a public bath. At many of the ryokan Japanese-style inns, in Yuhuyin Onsen no Ida Prefecture, you can enjoy a hot spring in a private bath without worrying about your surroundings. And it's mixed bathing. Mixed bathing is the traditional style of hot spring bathing, in which men and women bathe together. Some people may be put off by this, but recently there has been an increase in facilities where you can bathe in special clothing, called Uamigui. The Takaragawa Onsen Hot Spring in Gunma Prefecture is a large open-air bath, where you can enjoy mixed bathing in Uamigui, so even beginners can relax. Should you choose a hidden hot spring, or a famous hot spring in a tourist resort? Finally, should I go to a quiet, hidden hot spring, or choose a famous hot spring resort? This is also an important point when choosing a hot spring resort. If you want to avoid the crowds and enjoy the hot spring in peace and quiet, then a hidden hot spring is recommended. For example, Lamp no Yadora Warni Onsen in Anomori Prefecture has no electricity, so you can experience a special time just by the light of a lamp, surrounded by nature. You can refresh your body and mind at this onsen. On the other hand, for those who want to enjoy both onsen and sightseeing, famous onsen resorts are perfect. For example, Atami Onsen Shizuoka Prefecture is only about 40 minutes from Tokyo by Shinkansen, so it's very easy to get there. It is also a popular tourist destination, and you can enjoy the food and the spectacular views of the coast. Which one you choose depends on your purpose. If you go to a hidden hot spring, you can experience tranquility and the extraordinary. And if you go to a hot spring in a tourist resort, the appeal is convenience and entertainment. In this article, we have explained how to choose a hot spring that won't disappoint you. A hot spring ryokan is for people who want to spend time relaxing. A hot spring day trip is for people who want to enjoy it easily. Open-air baths are for people who want to enjoy the scenery. And private baths are for families and couples. Hidden hot springs are for people who want tranquility. And hot springs in tourist areas are for people who value accessibility. Keep these points in mind and choose a hot spring that suits you. Next, we will explain tips for enjoying Japanese hot springs even more. When we think of hot springs, soaking in hot water is not the only thing to look forward to. Hot spring resorts also have local gourmet foods and special products, and enjoying them, along with a hot spring experience, makes it even more fulfilling. So this time we will introduce how to enjoy hot spring eggs. The appeal of hot spring manju steamed buns. Local sake that can only be enjoyed at hot spring resorts in 3 separate points. How to enjoy hot spring eggs. A special kind of egg that can only be enjoyed at hot spring resorts. When you go to a hot spring resort, you'll often see a menu item called onsen tamago. Onsen tamago are soft-boiled eggs that have been slowly cooked with the heat of the hot spring. Unlike ordinary boiled eggs, the yolk is runny and the white is soft, giving them a unique texture. Why is onsen tamago so delicious? Onsen tamago is a food culture unique to hot spring resorts where the water is cool, while normal boiled eggs are cooked in boiling water at 100. Onsen tamago is slowly cooked at a lower temperature of 60 to 70, which allows the white and yolk to set just right. At Kusatsu Onsen in Gunma Prefecture, there is a facility where you can experience making onsen tamago in the hot spring field. In addition, at Bedpol Onsen in Oita Prefecture, hell-steamed eggs, which are steamed using the steam from the hot spring, are popular. In addition to bathing in the hot spring, tasting the food prepared with the local hot spring water is the real pleasure of a hot spring trip. The charm of onsen manju, a classic souvenir of hot spring resorts. You can almost always find onsen manju in hot spring resorts. Onsen manju are steamed manju, often made with hot spring water or hot spring steam. Why are there so many onsen manju in hot spring resorts? It is said that they originated at Ikaho Onsen in Gunma Prefecture. The specialty of Ikaho Onsen, Hana manju, is characterized by its brown sugar flavor, and this has spread throughout the country, leading to the production of onsen manju in many hot spring resorts. Ikaho Onsen Gunma Prefecture, Hana manju, brown sugar flavor. Hakone Onsen Kanagawa Prefecture, Koni manju, 2 types: red bean paste and white bean paste. Kusatsu Onsen Gunma Prefecture Yubatake manju, characterized by its chewy skin. Onsen manju are great to buy as souvenirs, but the best thing is to eat them fresh in the onsen town. Local sake unique to onsen cities. A glass of local sake to warm you up after an onsen bath. One of the pleasures of onsen towns is the local sake, produced by local breweries. If you're going on an onsen trip in the cold season, a glass of sake after warming up in the hot spring is something special. Why are there so many local sake in hot spring resorts? Hot spring resorts are blessed with high-quality spring water, and this water is often used to make delicious Japanese sake. Also, some hot spring ryokan Japanese style in serve local sake that goes well with hot spring water. In particular, drinking lukewarm sake after warming up in the hot spring will relax you from the inside out. Niigata Prefecture, Echigo Yuzawa Onsen Hakkaisen, refreshing taste. Nagano Prefecture, Nozawa Onsen Masumi, mild and easy to drink. Akita Prefecture, Niro Onsen Takashimizu, crisp and dry. Some ryokan offer onsen sake mixed with onsen water, so you can enjoy a unique way of enjoying onsen. In this article, we have provided some tips on how to enjoy onsen in Japan even more. The appeal of onsen tamago is their melt-in-your-mouth texture, which is achieved by slowly heating them in the low-temperature onsen. Onsen manju steamed buns are perfect to eat while walking around the onsen towns or as souvenirs. Local sake from hot spring resorts has a special flavor made with hot spring water. A hot spring trip is more fulfilling when you enjoy not only the hot spring baths, but also the food culture. Next, we'll explain how to spend time at a hot spring ryokan. A hot spring ryokan is a special place where you can experience a culture that is unique to Japan. If you're going to stay there, you want to make the most of the traditional Japanese experience, right? So, in this article, we'll explain in detail the 2 most important points: how to wear a yukata properly, the etiquette involved, and the Japanese food and lodging experience. Wearing a yukata. When you stay at a hot spring ryokan, the first thing you should do is put on a yukata. When you stay at a hot spring ryokan, yukata are often provided in your room. This is a style unique to hot spring ryokan, and you can wear it as loungewear while walking around the building or the hot spring resort. Why do you wear yukata in a hot spring ryokan? The biggest advantage of yukata is that it is comfortable to wear and allows you to relax. In hot spring resorts, It is also common to enjoy strolling around in yukata. This is a remnant of the old-fashioned culture of subcultures, and the style of spending time at a hot spring in a yukata is still alive today. The correct way to wear a yukata and etiquette. If you're going to wear a yukata, you should know how to wear it properly. Be careful how you put on your yukata. Left front is wrong. Right front is correct. Be careful, as left front is the way to dress for someone who has passed away. The way to tie the obi is simple. It's okay. For men, it is customary to tie the obi at the waist, and for women, it is customary to tie it slightly above the waist. It is okay to wear the slippers provided by the inn, Japanese-style meal, and lodging experience. The basic meal at a hot spring ryokan is a Japanese-style set meal. When you stay at a hot spring ryokan, dinner and breakfast are usually included, and the meals are served in a style called Japanese-style kaiseki set meal. The kaiseki meal usually consists of a sequence of dishes: appetizer, sashimi, grilled dish, steamed dish, fried dish, rice, miso soup, and dessert. Many of the dishes use ingredients that are unique to the hot spring resort, and each ryokan has its own specialties. Tips for enjoying ryokan dishes. Pay attention to the local ingredients. For example, Atami Onsen is famous for seafood, and Hida Takayama is famous for Hida beef. So the key is to enjoy the local specialties of each area. Eat in the order of the dishes. If you eat the dishes in order from the appetizer, the rice and miso soup at the end will taste even better. For breakfast, a simple Japanese breakfast is the norm, with grilled fish, natto, hot spring egg, miso soup, pickles and rice on the menu. Depending on the ryokan, hot spring rice porridge okayu may also be served at an old established ryokan in Shibu Onsen, Nagano Prefecture. You can enjoy kaiseki cuisine that highlights the unique flavors of the area, such as dishes made with shinshu soba noodles and local wild vegetables. In addition, at Arima Onsen, Hyogo Prefecture, dishes made with the famous Kobe beef are popular. Since each ryokan has its own characteristics, we recommend that you do some research beforehand to find out what kind of food is served. In this article we have explained how to spend your time at a hot spring ryokan. The basic rule is to wear a yukata in ryokan. Let's master the correct way to wear one. In hot spring cities, you can enjoy walking around in a yukata. The basic meal at a ryokan is a Japanese-style set meal. The key is to enjoy the local ingredients. When staying at a hot spring ryokan, it is important to enjoy the yukata and meals as a set, rather than just going to the hot spring. In this video, we explain the basics of hot spring culture in Japan, etiquette, and our top 5 recommended hot springs, all with a theme of hot spring culture in Japan that is easy for foreigners to understand. If you watched this video and thought, I want to go to a hot spring in Japan, please let us know your favorite hot spring resort in the comments. We will continue to provide information about Japan's attractive culture and sightseeing, so please subscribe to our channel and give us a high rating. Thank you for watching until the end. See you in the next video.